First at 4, state police raid the home of two top aides to former Michigan House Speaker Lee Chatfield. What we're learning about the investigation. Plus, could a de-escalation in the conflict in Ukraine be on the horizon? And we just heard from President Biden on where he'll compromise and where he won't. Good afternoon, Andrew.
Hello there, Karen, and welcome to Tuesday, everyone. We have temperatures there in the 20s, cold out there, but I'm tracking a warm-up not that far away. Then all bets are off. Rain that might lead to flooding and snow before the week is over. Your weather forecast, first at 4.
Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News First at 4 starts now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, a large police presence at the home of former staffers for ex-Michigan House Speaker Lee Chatfield. Police executed the search warrant at the Bath Township home of Rob and Ann Minard. They're both former upper-level staff members. Chatfield is being investigated following a criminal complaint made by his sister-in-law, alleging that she suffered years of sexual abuse starting when she was 15. Chatfield denies any abuse, but admits to what he calls a long-standing affair. Tonight at 6, the Local 4 defenders digging into why investigators are interested in Chatfield's finances and ties to multiple political action committees. A police chase across two cities comes to an end on Detroit's west side. Sky 4 over the scene where that chase ended this morning near Parkside and Santa Clara Southfield. Police say a call came in this morning after a shooting that happened in Detroit. They say the victim was following the suspect. Officers located that suspect, but he was able to get away, but not for long. Police were able to use a pit maneuver to get the suspect to stop. One person is in custody. The investigation is ongoing. Detroit Public Schools Community District releases a new plan to transform dozens of school buildings in the district. The $700 million proposal includes spending for new school buildings, improving existing schools, also upgrading older buildings by 2027. The funding comes from $1.3 billion in federal COVID pandemic aid awarded to the district. Now, the district says $2 billion is really needed to upgrade all buildings to a good rating. New at 5, we're going to take a look at what comes next to get this massive project started, including getting Detroit families and educators involved. Is Russian President Vladimir Putin really prepared to choose diplomacy over military action? There are some new signals. That answer could possibly be yes. First, the Russian military announced this morning some troops will be pulling back from the Ukrainian border after completing military exercises. But other drills are continuing in the area. Putin is once again saying he doesn't want war and will rely on negotiations to stop Ukraine from joining NATO. President Joe Biden just addressed the nation and says he is ready to look for common ground, but on some things, he won't bend.
We're willing to make practical, result-oriented steps that can advance our common security. We will not sacrifice basic principles, though. Nations have a right to sovereignty and territorial integrity. They have the freedom to set their own course and choose with whom they will associate.
Russia has kept the world guessing for months. This is the third time since December it's announced a partial scaling back of its military presence. We'll keep you posted on what happens next. Well, it has been a really emotional day for the families of 9 victims killed in the Sandy Hook school shooting. Today, they agreed to settle a lawsuit against the gunmaker Remington for $73 million. The case has been closely watched by gun control advocates. The family sued, arguing the AR-15 rifle used at Sandy Hook should not have been sold to the public and citing problems with the company's marketing. Remington denied its marketing could be linked to the shooting. Today, one mother of a child shot in his classroom talked about her motivation for this fight.
After Dylan's murder, I made a very early promise to do everything in my power to honor his short life by creating change that would save the lives of other children and prevent mass shootings like the one that destroyed our family. This lawsuit has been part of that promise.
Dylan was one of 20 first graders killed that day, along with 6 educators. Damages from the settlement will only be paid to families involved in the suit. None of the plaintiffs discussed their plans for the money. Well, it looks like Britain's Prince Andrew is trying to end that sex abuse lawsuit that's ruined his royal reputation. The attorney representing Virginia Giuffre has filed papers saying a tentative settlement has been reached. She claims she was sexually trafficked to the prince by the late Jeffrey Epstein when she was 17 years old. The tentative deal would require the prince to make a big donation to a charity of her choice, and the prince will say he never intended to malign her character and accepts she has suffered as a victim of abuse and unfair public attacks. Previously, the prince had vigorously denied her claims. So if all goes as planned, both sides could ask for that suit to be dismissed in about a month. All right, let's turn our attention to the forecast. Meteorologist Andrew Humphrey tracking a big warm-up, and then things get tricky later this week. I was looking on the app, Andrew. I was starting to get worried. So do I worry? Do I prepare? What's going on?
How about all the above,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you're right. It does get very tricky after this warm-up that we're going to go through and actually enjoy for part of tomorrow. For now, though, the warm-up is not here yet. So if you still have plans this afternoon or this evening, hey, good news is it remains dry. However, it is cold out there. It's February, though. It's Detroit. It's Michigan. We can take it, right? 25 degrees, and it remains below freezing for the rest of the afternoon. Winds making it feel like it's around 15 degrees, so that's what we need to dress for. But let me take you through this messy timeline that is on the way. After the warm-up occurs, we get some rain that moves in. This is from late Wednesday into Thursday. So starting late tomorrow, rain moves in, especially during the evening and at night when it becomes steadier and heavier, and it still remains above freezing. Then we get a transition because we have colder air moving in. Rain is going to change over to snow during the morning on Thursday from about 6 in the morning up until about lunchtime. After lunchtime on Thursday, that's when we get hammered with snow and slush, accumulating snow as well. I'll show you those snow totals in a second. But not snowy right now. Again, no snow, no slipperiness, no rain for the rest of the afternoon and this evening. Temperatures are on the cold side in your neighborhood as well. Middle 20s from the Thumb down to the Ohio border, from Port Huron to Southfield down toward Monroe. Because of the impending rain, National Weather Service has already put in place, not in effect now, but it does go into effect on Thursday starting at 4 a.m., again, 2 days from now, a flood watch that's in effect. Because when the rain falls, many places could easily see an inch to an inch and a half or possibly more before it starts snowing. Take a look at Storm Tracker 4. Barely anything showing up to our west or to our southwest. To our southwest, that's where the moisture is coming from. Right now, we just see a mass of clouds, and that is it. But we're going to watch for that transformation to happen over the next 24 to 48 hours. It's 25 here. The first thing we're going to see are these higher temperatures. In fact, temperatures actually rise overnight tonight from the 20s into the low 30s. Then, as this frontal system takes shape, takes form, and gets closer, increasing clouds for tomorrow, it becomes milder. These areas of green, late tomorrow afternoon, scattered rain at first, but then look at the heavier rain, especially here in yellow and orange, steady and heavy rain from Wednesday evening through Wednesday night. Then once this cold front passes, we get snow entering the picture during breakfast time tomorrow, but it's a slow transition from breakfast time to lunchtime on Thursday where it becomes snowy and then drier and colder for the rest of the week. In terms of snow totals, as we talked about yesterday, this is all preliminary, but chances are we will need our shovels. First, we'll talk about the rain. The amount of rain that may fall in parts of the area, easily over an inch possible south of I-94. Here in Detroit, just over an inch, just under an inch farther north of 8 Mile. In terms of any snowfall on Thursday, and this could change, so I want to prepare you, not scare you. Anywhere from 3 to 4 inches north of 8 Mile in Oakland and Macomb counties, in Detroit and south of 8 Mile. A lot of the bullseyes have around 5 to 6 inches or slightly more by the end of Thursday, but that could change. So we're looking at temperatures rising from 20s to 30s overnight, 48 tomorrow with rain moving in, rain over to snow and snowy conditions Thursday afternoon. After that, Karen, it calms down. Thank goodness. We have winter blast taking place, cold air in place for that, wintry scene out there in Detroit and southeast Michigan, 20s on Friday, 30s this weekend.
All right, we appreciate all of it. Thanks, Andrew. We'll be ready. All right, the COVID pandemic has pushed many of us to find new ways to relieve stress. Our own Paula Tutman has been sharing her journey into the joys of ceramics with WDIV Insiders Online. And it turns out one local teacher was watching and started her own parallel project. Paula joins us live to show us how people are joining in on the fun and also that stress relief. Hey, Paula.
Hey there. Okay, well, this part is actually a little more stressful. So this is my ceramic wet saw, and I'm just learning how to use it. And what I realize is there is no room for error. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually cleaning up my tiles with clean cuts. Now, here's the thing. No room for error. I have to get it right because people are watching and actually figuring out ways for their own COVID stress relief. To be one with clay is a gift, an art, an exploration, and a journey into the world of relaxation through creativity. When we invited everyone to become a WDIV insider and join us for our exclusive series on ceramics as COVID stress relief therapy, University Liggett School in Grosse Pointe was watching. This is the art class of Karen Katanek, who for 35 years has guided the hands and imaginations of her students. But this year is her swan song. She's retiring.
Do you understand? Because it's like beveled.
And as a lasting legacy, she and her students will be transforming this commons space and adorning the fireplace with the fire of handcrafted tiles. She got the idea after seeing our exclusive WDIV Insider series, in which I'm taking our viewers on my own journey to find peace in these troubled times by learning ceramics. Some I freehand, but because I have a limited skill set, I also really count on silicone molds. Turns out Ms. Katanek and her class have been following along and mirroring the series.
Knowing that you're a beginner makes me more comfortable. It's like nice to see like your trial and error and how like you just experiment with new things, and if it works, and if it doesn't, you just stop and like rethink.
And so the class is taking a journey with all of our other WDIV insiders on our road to doing something virtually together we've never done before.
This is my first year in high school, so this was a great way to start off my first art elective. And I love making the tiles. It's super relaxing and kind of a way to get away from everything, like you mentioned in your videos.
When we first started doing it, I was a bit nervous because I'm not the best drawer.
And of course, the ingenuity of teenagers shines through as students use their cell phones to find images to transfer to clay.
So I find like an inspiration pic, and then I like trace the size of clay tile that I'm using, and then I like turn my brightness up all the way, and I like trace the picture.
The sweetness of discovery and experimentation is delightful.
So this is like a tree, and I tried to get some like mountains in the background almost. This was, I think, one of my more recent ones.
And the getting through COVID together, absolutely empowering.
I did a cheetah, and then it's laying on like on a tree, and then I just put a bunch of plants and vines around it.
Every time you start to make an indent on it, you kind of figure out your path, because you sketch it out, but you really have no clue what exactly you're going to do.
So when Ian is a father and his children are coming to our school, that he can say, hey, this is a project that I contributed that tile to, so that it's not just my legacy, it's their legacy.
I think it's honestly super dope, like, to be honest. I mean,
Super dope is good. That's good, right?
Oh, very good. So,
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, yeah. And so, I mean, I love Miss K. I mean, I'm sad that she's leaving, but I think this is going to be a really nice piece, and I'm glad that she's doing it.
Okay, so this is what this clean cut actually looks like, and apparently sometimes stress relief is absolutely nerve-wracking. My partner, Matt Wilson, said, is there a paramedic in the house? And yeah, my husband, who's a firefighter paramedic, just got home. Listen, this is all part of the journey, and we're so excited that I can't believe that students are actually learning by watching this series. We invite everybody to join the WDIV Insiders. Watch the series. We're making mistakes together, but I also want to hear from you. Let me know what you're doing for your creative COVID stress relief therapy. Karen?
I give those kids credit. I like the detail, like with that cheetah on the tree and then the house with the mountains in the background. Yeah, very creative and stress relieving.
It's going to be beautiful. It really is.
Really
yeah.
is. All
Fun
right, we
project.
always appreciate checking in with you. So thanks, Paula. Also, by the way, during the Winter Olympics, we have plenty of news for you during the day. We're glad that you found First at 4 here this afternoon. We'll also be streaming a special edition of Local 4 News every night at 10 p.m. on clickondetroit.com. Now, that update will also be streaming live on our Local 4 Plus app, which you can download to your smart TV Roku, Fire Stick, or Apple TV. It is free, and just like downloading an app for your phone right onto your TV. So join Devin and Kim tonight at 10. Right now, NBC coverage of the Winter Olympics is happening over on Local 4, but you can see more news at the top of the hour. I'm going to leave you now with a look at this exclusive story I've been working on for tonight at 5.
Eastern Michigan University, accused of creating a sexually dangerous environment.
They basically told me that it wasn't necessarily worth pursuing. It was
now, Jane Doe number 12 comes forward to share her story.
All they had to do was put a stop to it, and there wouldn't be so many of us.
Did the university do enough to investigate reports of sexual assault? The Defenders with the story tonight at 5.